You are now listening to the Checkmate Arcade Podcast, episode 207, recorded on April 13th, 2015. Brought to you by Frigid Blast Studios in association with NoobReview.com. Hello and welcome to the Checkmate Arcade Podcast, your home for quarter-munching fun. And I am the belle of the ball. My name is Stephen Boss, the Dark Boss Man.
And Steven, get the Metal Gear sound ready.
Oh, God.
If I may borrow a quote and rearrange it a bit from the famous Jeff Gerstmann, life is strange. Game of the first quarter 2015. F*** everything else. I'm MSU Hitman Jason Billingsley.
Well, that's a bold statement.
Yes, it is. It's one that not many people share, and that's fine. I don't have the resources or money to buy all these indie games that are coming out on PSN, like Axiom Verge and Helldivers and stuff, so...
Well, if you wait a few months, they'll be on sale minimum, and then eventually after that they will be free.
Axiom Verge claimed that there wasn't going to be any other sale, because they're all 10% off the first week, this promotion they're doing, and Axiom Verge claims there'll be no other sales on it for 6 months. Because I guess...
6 months, so...
Yeah.
Obviously, after that, I'm guessing it'll be sale time.
Yeah. If Valiant Hearts and Child of Light and others haven't taught us Strider.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yup. Which, yeah, still free on Xbox One for the whole month for Child of Light.
Right, yeah. I think it was on earlier on PlayStation, but I'd already bought it. For $7.50, it's fine. You know, if I buy it,
just letting people know in case they want to pick it up for free.
Yep.
Yeah. And if down the line someone gets an Xbox One, they already have that game, then they can just straight up download it.
Well, yeah, and I mean also, yeah, if you tie a credit card or your PayPal to your Xbox account, because
just tie your PayPal. Your PayPal will be safer.
Yeah, because I had to do that so I could redeem the Xbox One free games. Because you cannot buy anything, you cannot buy anything on the Xbox website, even a free thing, if you don't have a payment option. Doesn't matter. You could have $100 in your Microsoft account on the console. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's the part that doesn't make any sense. When you have money already preloaded, it should just work.
Yeah. I don't know. It's been that way since 2013 when they redid the website for Xbox One.
Yeah, and then for some strange reason, there was like a month where it was working properly again, and now it's not again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't understand. It makes no sense.
Yeah, I mean, I'm getting ready. I've had Live for just over 9 years, and mine's getting ready to run out. Gold.
Yeah.
My gold runs out first week of May, and I'm probably not going to be renewing it, so...
Yeah, but then you won't be able to play anything online.
What on 360 am I going to play online other than Titanfall?
XCOM? Because I did get it when it was on sale.
Oh, you got Enemy Within?
Yep. It's waiting on my drive, waiting for me to play it.
Alright, well, if you get around to it, I can always buy a 3-month card or something. Or maybe the Game Fairies will have some way for me to get Live, especially around E3. I need to check on that.
I mean, I have a few cards that'll give me a small amount of time I can give you.
It's fine. I've got more options. Save those for yourself. I've got more options available to me.
I mean, there's one that's a 2 week, one that's a 1 week, and then I think 1 or 2 that are 2 days.
It's fine. I need to go search our Grand Theft Auto 4 I need to go search Grand Theft Auto 4 copies and stuff like that.
And that's for what, the 1 month codes or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those still work. Unlike the Microsoft Point codes in Dance Centrals. Those don't work anymore. But the live codes work in GTA 4.
Weird.
Yeah.
Wonder why those would work, but the points wouldn't.
Well, because points don't exist anymore.
Well, I mean, okay, yeah. Okay, if that's true, then why the hell does Amazon still sell them?
I have no idea. I've been smart enough.
Weird.
I've been smart enough not to get them. So.
Well, I mean, I buy the digital gift code ones. I don't buy the stupid actual ones anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
That was a weird sidetrack.
Mm-hmm.
Video games. They can take us in many directions all at once.
Oh, you don't even need to tell me.
I mean, yeah, just from what you've been saying about Life is Strange, jeez.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, boy. Maybe, maybe I will have to start playing it soon.
I mean, I don't think enough people are talking about this game. It's like me and Patrick Klepek and Brittany from Blonde Nerd and Lady Insanity, the BioWare lady from YouTube. And it's like, and then, what's his name? Mitch Dyer's been doing the reviews for it. So he doesn't like it as much. And him and Klepek have some issues with the writing, which I think it's fine. I think the script, they have some issues with the script, but I think it's fine. But I don't know. Yeah. Maybe I'm around younger people than they are. I don't know. It seems right to me. I don't know, but
I guess we'll find out when I get around to it. But yeah, a whole lot of video games that we've been playing.
Yep.
How about we start talking about them? Yes, no?
Yes, that sounds like a plan.
All right, let's get into our now playing. All right, my bold statement claiming friend, what you been playing?
All right, so first off, a couple of repeats that don't need much explanation. It's just been kind of busy with work and stuff, and this weekend was the Magic Pro Tour, so I watched some of that on Friday and Saturday instead of games. So that took up some time. And I need to get taxes done here, so...
Yeah, no, it's definitely that season.
Yeah, so Madden 15 Mutt, I played some of the single-player solo challenges in that, and I played a little bit more Resident Evil Revelations 2 raid mode. Have not gotten to play with Joe yet, because they did do the online co-op for that, but I haven't gotten to play with Joe yet.
Right, okay.
So that gets us to number 3 in NBA 2K14, my career.
Huh. Okay.
All right. So I will try to limit this as much as possible, although even though this relates to sports games, this is kind of relates to gaming as a whole in terms of the online-only infrastructure of certain games.
The most games at this point, actually.
Well, I mean, just online only. I mean, yeah, when you have no other options, and also showing what Xbox One could have been. All right, so 2K14, you may remember me talked about before, and this is still into 2K15 somewhat as well. The main modes for the game, which on 2K14 was My Career and My GM. This is the career modes where you create your own guy, get drafted, take him through his career. GM is kind of similar thing, except you pick which team to start with. Similar type thing, except you just you can either be just the GM and not play the games, or you can play the games as well. So,
okay.
In 2K14, those modes were pretty much restricted to online only, and you weren't at first. People thought you couldn't do offline modes of that game. And in fact, if your system had any type of online connection at all, it wouldn't. But there was a backdoor way to eventually you could find, oh, well, here's how you do an offline version of that mode. But pretty much anybody who played that mode, it was tied to online because the way you upgraded your GM or player in terms of both their attributes and also how they dressed, use the virtual currency or VC. This you either earn depending on your performance in games, or of course it could be purchased. This is the same currency that you had to use in the My Team mode, which is their version of Ultimate Team, whatever.
Right.
So everything required this VC, which meant it had to have a connection to the online servers so that you couldn't cheat with the VC, especially since they were selling it.
Yeah.
And when the servers weren't working, you couldn't play the game. This was most notable at Christmas time when 2K14 servers were just borked by the amount of people trying to play it online. It eventually cleared up, and some people wrote some things about it, your Owen Goods of the world and stuff, and only sports game people really noticed it. Nothing really super major came out of it. And then 2K15 came along, and they made some changes to it. The My GM, they took the VC out of My GM. They also added a specific single season offline only version, but the career still required the VC.
Right.
At the beginning of March, 2K announced that just about 16 months after the launch of this game, they were going to be turning off the servers for 2K14. And they claimed that the online saves would convert to offline ones, and it'd be no problem. You wouldn't lose your My Career.
Okay, I sense a very large but.
Yeah. Here's the but. That option is apparently set into the code of 2K15 for that eventuality, but not for 2K14. So people so people who logged in and actually tried to log in and went through it on April 1st on NBA 2K14 lost their My Career players.
Oh, jeez.
Because when you try to start that mode offline with an online save, it will say, okay, there's no connection, so if you want to play this, you'll have to restart. Okay, yes or no. And if you hit yes, say goodbye to your guy.
Damn.
So there was huge outrage over it, and then the 2K forums were just kind of like, oh, well, your guy he retired out on top, go buy 2K15. Literally, that's not the direct quote, that's pretty close to what it said. It's like, oh, well, sorry. Hey, your guy went out on top, right? 2K15's available.
Okay.
Yeah, so about a week of that, like I said, so this is, March 31st, April 1st. So last week, from all the backlash that they took, they reinstated the servers for 2K14 and promised that every game hereafter would have anywhere between an 18 and 27 month, would have about somewhere between an 18 and 27 month cycle for the servers. Here's something to note, because EA was the one most famous for doing this at first. They've kind of slowed down on that. The servers are still up for Madden NFL and FIFA 12, with those games being 2011 releases.
Yeah.
Those games are 3.5 years old, and they still have online servers.
Very weird.
Whereas 2K13, their servers were shut off 13 months after. But everybody was hyped for 2K14 and the next gen release, so people other than, the hardcore people that cover sports games, noticed.
Yeah.
And people didn't like 2K13 as much. Whereas 2K14, especially the My Career on PS4 and Xbox One, people really liked.
Well, I mean, at least they're guaranteeing you'll be able to play it for a decent amount of time now.
But see, here's the thing. If you take that 27 months that's basically this time or a little earlier next year. So basically, I got a 9 to 10 month reprieve. So I rented 2K14, cleared off enough space from uninstalling my disc games that I can reinstall easily, and putting 2K14 back on there. And I did play one game in my career because I'm one in my career in 2K14. I like the way he looks better. I like the way my team plays better, which is stupid because I'm on Sacramento in 2K14, and on 2K15 I'm with the Atlanta Hawks, which in real life are one of the best teams in the league, but they don't play like it in 2K15. So my guy is either first or he's going to win Rookie of the Year and maybe even be the MVP of the league on 2K14. You know, I'm one of the top teams in the Western Conference. I'm going to make the playoffs easily. And I've only got like 10 games left now before the playoffs. So, you know, I'm much closer to getting through that first year. And I feel a much bigger attachment to my 2K14 character versus my 2K15. So I want to try to win the NBA title my first year, at least get through that.
Okay.
So I've played a little bit of that, and I've reinstalled that, and I'm going to try to keep that installed for the next 9 months or so. And then eventually, when that gets shut off, I have 2K15 as a download, and I can reinstall it, and hopefully I will be able to play that until, if it's 27 months, that would put it at the 15. That would put it in the early of 2017 when they shut off the servers for it. Hopefully.
Okay. Well, you got a decent amount of time before that happens, then.
Yeah, and plus they've promised that 2K15 saves will convert. We'll see.
Right.
But anyway, so that was kind of a debacle, which
I could imagine, yeah.
Yeah, which started getting mainstream press, not just sports gaming press. So
yeah.
All right, now moving on to the two newer things. And as I mentioned in the opening, Life is Strange episode 2, I beat the episode this weekend. I'd played about half of it, as I explained on the last show, and apparently my internet connection is too slow to live stream even single player games. Because there were times, I went back and looked at the YouTube clip, there were times where about half the video, my connection was too slow, and it just showed a connection failed screen.
Oh, jeez.
On the background, but it couldn't show it wasn't fast enough to show the video.
Yeah. Man, they really need to up your internet speeds.
Yeah, I need to get better internet. But anyway, so I figured that out, but I can... It takes forever, but I can't upload clips to YouTube. And I did actually upload a clip to YouTube of the last game I'll talk about in a second.
All right.
So, Life is Strange episode 2. Wow. I mean, that ending, dog. Whew.
Did you just call me dog?
Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. I mean... that episode, I mean, I liked episode 1 fine, but oh my gosh, now episode 2 does have, you know, some slower points with you proving your powers and, you know, stretching the limits of your powers with a certain someone. But another, I'm trying to remain as spoiler free as possible.
Yeah, I mean, that's intriguing that someone else knows about your power now.
Yeah. But another certain someone, there's only one person that knows about her powers.
Right.
Well, no, there's two. I'm sorry, there's two. But a different person who you're sort of introduced to in episode 1, there's one major decision revolving around her. But, I mean, she's kind of one of the major side characters. The game ends up kind of deceptively so centering around her for episode 2. And, oh my gosh, the cliffhanger with that episode. Basically, try to do this you only get one chance. Something happens, and I don't want to say what. Patrick Klepek has a really good spoiler-laden article for it that I'll find the link to here in a second. But basically, something comes up involving this major side character, and you have one chance. It's the first time in the game where you cannot rewind, and just that's about as, I won't say too much more, but you basically have one shot, and the fate of this character is literally in your hands. And you have to pay very close attention. Earlier in the episode, you interact with her a lot more, and depending on how much you notice around her surroundings and how much you talk to her, the fate of that character may be good or bad.
Okay.
And it is just very powerful. Now, there are some people who say, well, we don't know what happens, with episode 3 and here on. These type of games, when there is a major thing that comes up, it's going to be interesting to see how they write it, because you can only do so many things before the game would implode upon itself from all the decisions. But it'll be interesting to see where they go from here. Because when this has come up in other games before, I guess it sort of came up with Wolf Among Us, but I didn't go to the when it's in episode 2, I didn't go to that prince's apartment first. Remember when you go to that apartment? I guess if you go there first and bypass Frog and everything else and go to him first, apparently I guess that scene changes.
Yeah, I imagine it would, just because you're getting different evidence first.
Right, but something that happened there, but the thing is with this one, you have such more of a direct influence on what happens, and it's the first time in the game where you can't just rewind. It's like, oh, I didn't like how that turned out. Let's just rewind and do it the other way.
Yeah.
You don't have that option here. And basically, I hadn't cried after a moment in a game like that since Citadel on Mass Effect.
Okay.
That was just really powerful, and the themes that the game explores with bullying, because you're playing a geeky character, and her best friends are geeky characters, and it's this, private high school where, there's this queen bee, she's basically like Rachel McAdams' character from, gosh darn it, what's the last good Lindsay Lohan movie? Mean Girls. Mean Girls.
Okay.
She's Rachel McAdams' character from Mean Girls, essentially. And then you also have this really jerk of a guy whose family basically runs the town that the school is located in.
Yeah, I think I remember him from the demo.
Yeah.
Or the episode that Quick Look was from.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, it's just, the things with that and my personal mainly bad experiences of grade school is just really, it's just a really powerful game to me, and I think it's awesome. I don't know. I've always tended to like these games, like your Heavy Rains and your LA Noirs, and I know a lot of people, like Two Best Friends play. I finally started watching their playthrough of Life is Strange, and I can tell that they're treating this game like a Heavy Rain, and they're ripping the script and everything, but I don't know. I really like
Well, they're probably doing it for comedy.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, a bit, but they've really...
that's generally what they do, is they go for a comedy angle on pretty much everything, right?
Not always, but a lot. But it's kind of a them hating on David Cage games is like one of the foundations of their channel. Like, that's some of their most popular Let's Plays is the the David Cage Sadness Trilogy, as they call it.
Okay.
But I mean, it seems like they're ripping the rind of this as well. But I have no problem with it. I think it's awesome. The time travel mechanic, or the time rewind mechanic, I should say, I think works really well for the game. There's so many. There's the major choices that come up, but like I said, there's a bunch of minor ones as well. And then at the end of this episode, they kind of pull you might not always have this. So, did you pay attention enough earlier in the episode?
Yeah.
And then some of them made, like, there's a sequence where you have to save a certain character again, and depending on how well you utilize the time rewind mechanic, you may do it properly, or you may have to mess up. There was an option for, did you damage this in your attempt to save this person, yes or no? So, there were multiple ways to save this person, and depending on how well you utilize the time rewind mechanic, there may be repercussions of that. At least that's what it promises when it says, did you mess this up while saving this person, yes or no? So I think that this is the evolution of kind of the Telltale formula that we were looking for in Walking Dead episode 2, and I don't think didn't get.
Possibly.
And I'm not saying that every game has to be like this, but it's nice to see somebody besides Telltale and Double Fine approach this style of game. I should say somebody besides, pretty much this style of game, it's been Double Fine, David Cage's studio, and Telltale. And it's like those three have been the only ones that have somewhat critically done well with this type of game. And it's nice to see a studio's second game really work. It's nice to have a teenage female protagonist. I mean, granted, we got that with Walking Dead, but
did we really? That wasn't really that great.
Yeah, I don't know. I think this works. I just think all the characters work. The setting works. It's Northwest, so you get some of the Alan Wake vibes with it, and I just think it's a phenomenal game. And if you told me, the Remember Me people, that I would be touting their second game this much, I would have been like, what?
Well, I mean, considering what they did with Remember Me, it's just kind of a shock the way they diverged and actually went into this game.
Yeah, I think they focused on story and character development, which I needed to play. Remember, it seemed like the fighting mechanics they were worse at. So they're like, okay, let's do an adventure game, and let's lay off the fighting mechanics and try to do our take on this style of game, and the character design and the environment that the characters are in, the setting, and do all that, which was, most people agreed from the reviews I read, was the strongest parts of Remember Me, and let's just focus a game on that, and kind of, we'll have this cool rewind mechanic. That's going to be our gimmick for this game, but we're not going to require fast action. We're not. Yeah. We're not going to be a character action game. We're not going to do that now. We're going to do, an adventure game, and it really works to me.
Okay.
So, I hope that Square Enix puts this on a disc, like Telltale does, once the whole season is done. Because I know there's a lot of people who either don't have internet access and can't download these smaller games, or just refuse to play these games until all the episodes are out.
Yeah.
And that's fine. and I just hope Square Enix is brave enough to put this on a disc. I don't know if they will, but I think this game's awesome. I mean, if people disagree, that's cool, but I've not gotten to play Axiom Verge and Hellriders, and I'm not
Helldivers.
Helldivers, yeah.
And Helldivers is not a Game of the Year candidate in my mind.
Yeah, I don't know. It's
good game,
yeah.
Not Game of the Year material.
Right, and I mean, I don't have access to Ori, although from what I've read, that's a super hard game, and I'm not a Souls person.
So. It's not that hard.
Okay, I heard a lot of people comparing it to Super Meat Boy, and I was like, ooh.
In one way, yes. For the platforming, maybe, but the way you can do saves, it's not that bad.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
it's not that sadistic.
Okay.
Let's put it like that.
Okay. But I don't have Axiom Verge, but I mean, Resident Evil Revelations 2 I like, but it's not, and Hardline's fine, but it's not, Yeah. I mean, basically I'm in a holding pattern for Witcher 3 here, but this has been the best surprise, because literally I was looking at the first half of the year, it's like, well, I'm going to get a bunch of Resident Evil, and there'll be Battlefield Hardline, and Final Fantasy Type 0, and I still need to play Type 0, but I've got the other half of that covered here. But anyway, yeah, I highly recommend Life is Strange. If the season pass happens to go on sale at some point, I say get it. I don't know how it plays on 360 and PS3. With most of these games, I would assume get them on PC or Xbox One, PS4 if you can. But if you're stuck on 360, PS3, they are available on there, and they come out the same time, unlike Mortal Kombat. So,
I mean, it's getting to the point where the companies have to make the decision. Do we actually allocate the resources for the last gen versions now?
I think you've reached that point, because
it's kind of the cutoff point. It's like, all right, maybe we can still do this, but I think this is the last time we can.
Yeah, because if you look, Mortal Kombat 360 PS3 being done by a different studio, a port studio, that's not coming out now until June for the old consoles. Metal Gear, as of right now, Metal Gear Solid 5 Phantom Pain is the last, that and Tomb Raider on 360, but Tomb Raider on 360 again is being done by a port house, and it's supposed to be at the same time, but we don't, so other than like Tomb Raider and Metal Gear and maybe Black Ops 3, but we don't even know that for sure.
Yeah. Give away all their news.
Well, okay, sorry, but I mean, it seems like we're getting to the point to where 360 PS3 is done, because other than the Tales, the big name games, yeah, other than the last Tales game, because even Persona 5's on PS4. So other than the Tales game on PS3, and then sports games, I mean, the sports games will obviously stay on there till the dying day,
as they do.
Yeah. So I mean, it's just, if you have not upgraded yet and you're interested in upgrading, you need to do it this fall. And I think Witcher 3 is going to be the first game where it's like 360 can't handle this. I mean, 360 can barely handle Dragon Age, from what you have told me.
Yeah. It still has some issues.
Yeah.
There was a couple times where I was in the middle of conversations and, oh, no, there goes the audio again. Fast forwarding and skipping over each other. Damn it.
All right. So last thing I played was the Final Fantasy 15 episode Disky, whatever, the demo.
Yeah, I think it's Disky, but I don't know.
Yeah. Whatever.
All right, so demo for Final Fantasy 15.
Yeah, the few hours of it that's there. And I played it to completion.
Mm-hmm. All right, so what exactly is it?
It's a chunk of the game that is very early on in the story.
Okay.
Seems like and they don't do much story exposition,
Mm-hmm.
but from reading, basically it seems like, there's the prince guy. Basically, his country gets invaded by this kingdom they're warring with that kind of takes over, and they let out that his dad dies, but he lives, but they say that he's dead. So it's him
Mm-hmm.
and his group of 3 friends. One of them, I think, is in the royal court because he always calls him Prince or Your Highness, and the other 2 guys are probably just his friends.
Mm.
So these group of 4 apparently are going to have to travel around and gather things to be able to fight this empire.
Okay.
And probably at some point early on, they're trying to escape and they wreck their car.
Hmm.
So now you get the car to your and this is where Sid and Cindy come in. You never see Sid in the demo, but you get to an old friend who's the mechanic, I guess, that the castle always used. Him and
Mm-hmm.
his daughter, and just in this skimpy outfit. I mean, basically count the days until either Lindsay Ellis or Jessica Negri do this as a cosplay. I mean, just Daisy, daisier than Daisy Duke shorts. The
Jeez.
bra showing. I mean, just look up Cindy Final Fantasy 15 on Google. You'll get the images. Southern accent. I mean, a nice, sweet, very, I mean, it's a fun character, but just wow, just like
Yeah. Played up for the most hardcore of hardcore fan service.
yeah, not quite as bad as what's her name from Metal Gear Solid 5? Quiet, not quite that bad, but still pretty.
Well, I mean, Metal Gear 5 is not quite out yet, so
Well, yeah, but we know what Quiet looks like.
yeah, yeah,
I mean, she's a sniper wearing a bikini top.
yeah.
And supposedly there's some reason for that, but
Oh, there's always a reason in his head.
yeah.
Good old Kojima and his weird reasoning.
But anyway, so you don't even see the part; they just kind of reference it. So
Yeah.
your car's wrecked, and Cindy is repairing it, but
Mhm.
there's and you have to find little things in the environment. There's a bunch of stuff. This country that's taken over. They've kind of put all these restrictions up, and people are kind of suffering. So.
Yeah.
Like once you get the car fixed, she's like, "I'm sorry I had to charge y'all, but we gotta we gotta keep the doors open somehow, and
Yeah.
I'm giving you a bargain on it." But
Of
anyway, so the
course.
car's wrecked, and you need 25,000 gil to fix it. And it just so happens in this small town off the highway that you're stuck in, there is a behemoth that is terrorizing the populace, and the reward for it, dead or alive, preferably dead, is 25,000 gil.
Oh, of course. I mean, have to have that coincidence.
Yeah. So the whole game is your crew of 4 waking up, after camping out for the night, after the car is wrecked,
Mm-hmm.
and then finding the reward poster for the behemoth, and then tracking down said behemoth to kill it and claim the reward, so you can get you can pay the money to get your car to finish up what you owe for the car repair and
Yeah.
get going.
Yeah, because you gotta get that road trip on.
Yeah. Apparently the first day they have to go. So this gets into, and they do a horrible job of explaining this. So basically you track the behemoth, you get to its lair, you do this plan that you think kills it, and all it does is piss it off, and you have to run away.
Of course.
So at the other end of this town is kind of like this chocobo hut. Think of it as like a park where you would ride horses, except it's chocobos.
Yeah.
And
Because Final Fantasy.
yeah, and you can go to this place before you even face the behemoth the first time, but nothing's there other than the shop. You go there, you're prompted to go there after you run away from the behemoth, and you're prompted to go to the shopkeeper, and he's like, "Oh, we've got some, how's it going? We got some beautiful countryside. If you want to ride the chocobos, just don't go to that cave to the east. We wouldn't want for that to be the last thing you see." And then you get a quest prompt to go to this cave on the east side of the map.
Of course.
No, really anything. Why are we going here?
Yeah.
But you go there, and you have to fight through the cave, and once you get to the bottom of the cave, you touch this tree, this glowing tree that's there, and all of a sudden you get your first summon.
Oh, but of course.
And then you go, and then the video that I put up is the last couple minutes where after I get the summon, I get back to the behemoth's lair, I go in, I try fighting it for a bit, and then I do the summon, and it's nuked.
Of course.
Because it has like 400,000 hit points, which is just about the same amount that the summon does.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
So, fighting mechanics, what are they like?
Oh my god! Like, I was legitimately excited for this game until I played this demo.
Oof. Is that bad?
Well, here's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
There, smart idea. Hey, let's do live action combat, and that's fine. The problem is there is no way to hard lock the camera on an enemy.
Ooh.
And this entire demo, other than the behemoth, you're fighting tons of smaller creatures that run all around you, and there is no way to center and permanently lock on the camera on one of them.
Yeah, that seems like a problem.
You are constantly having to move the right stick around and flail on the square button to try to hit them. All the while having your finger close to L1 because you have to hold that to dodge.
Oh, jeez. All right.
I mean, Tales of Vesperia in 2008 got this system locked down. And probably some of the older Tales games, before that. How Square Enix could spend 9 years building this game to get it to the point where they could put out a demo and not have a hard camera lock option in a 3D action game?
Well, let's be fair. They most likely scrapped multiple versions of whatever this was beforehand.
Well, right, but in the current iteration it's in, how do you not have the ability to hard lock the camera on an enemy? And you can do this kind of soft lock thing, but once the enemy runs past you, it's gone and you need to lock onto somebody else. And this requires you to hold down R1 the entire time, which is also what you do. When you do that, you'll constantly be prompted to hit X to do the warp sword strike. But if you do that about 3 or 4 times, you'll run out of MP and you can no longer dodge.
Wait, so dodging takes MP?
Yes.
That, yeah, okay.
It only takes a couple MP per dodge, but the problem is all of your special abilities take anywhere from a fifth to a half of your MP bar. And then at the end of the demo, when you're in this cave, you find this special item, and it really doesn't tell you anything about it other than like, hey, you can hit L1 and R1 when your MP is full and go into this. It's basically like a devil trigger mode. They don't tell you this, but essentially you do it, and you just are just going all over the place, going crazy on the enemies until you run out of MP.
Okay, so it's kind of like maybe an overdrive?
Yeah.
All right.
This game's version of it.
Yeah.
And the summons you can only do when you're near death. So when you run out of hit points, you'll go into a danger state. And your white health bar will be replaced by a red one, which is your maximum health.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you have 900 HP, your red bar will be 900. And when you're in this state, someone can either rescue you, or you can use a potion or whatever and restore your health. If you take enough damage while in this danger mode, you end up dying.
All right.
If the prince dies at any point, it's auto game over. If
Right.
one of the other three dies, then you can use a Phoenix Down to revive them.
Sure.
And the more times you go into this mode, the less your max hit points are until you rest at a caravan or in a tent.
Okay. So far, the biggest complaint is the camera.
Yeah, the camera, absolutely. If it
Hmm.
wasn't for the camera and just kind of the story, they give you that quest to it's like, why am I searching this cave? And it's, oh, I'm getting the
Because
summon.
danger.
Right, I'm getting the summon. So now I can go back and I can kill the behemoth in one hit.
Yeah.
Some people are crazy enough with this demo to try to just grind and level up enough and kill the behemoth without the summon.
I mean, if you can, sure, why not?
Yeah, but that requires like you to get all the characters into the mid 40s in level.
Oh,
I
jeez.
ended the demo in the late 20s. Like all my guys were 26 to 28 when I ended the demo.
What did they start at?
Like 9 or 10.
Okay.
And you don't bank the XP until you camp for the night.
So there's a chance you could lose it?
Well, yeah, if you die and have
Wow.
to start over from the last save point.
Dark Souls much?
Yeah. The game, before you go into any dungeon, you do get a checkpoint.
Okay.
And you can reload from that checkpoint. And you'll still have all the XP that you gained beforehand.
Yeah.
But if you die before you get to a dungeon, yes, you would have to start over from your last save point.
That's,
And the game has a day-night cycle, so eventually when it gets to be at night, there's different enemies that come out, and it's harder to see because all you have for light are these little, like Lara Croft, like spelunking, little flashlights that you've got on your chest.
Oh, okay.
So it's much harder to see at night.
Yeah. Huh. Alright, well.
People that are paying $30 for this demo online? Okay.
Yeah, that seems pretty, stupid.
I don't know.
Pay money for a demo.
That's because the only way to get the demo is to buy the first edition of Type 0.
That doesn't seem worth it to me. Not in the slightest.
I mean, I've gotten to experience the game now, but I'm just like 9 years and...
Yeah, that's the best they can do. I think Final Fantasy might, need to retire for a while.
I mean, the graphics are wonderful. And, this action gameplay, okay... This was back when they didn't think turn-based stuff would, that would sell, and then, Bravely Default came out and sold like hotcakes.
Gee, that's kind of funny that turn-based seems to continuously sell.
And, Fire Emblem, XCOM and Fire Emblem did amazing sales.
Yeah.
It won Game of the Year awards.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. Kind of weird that all these games that are turn-based are suddenly winning awards.
Yeah.
Or are just amazing.
So, I don't know. I am less, it seems interesting, but I'm less excited about it unless they're like, oh yeah, because of feedback from the demo, the camera, there is now a hard lock option on the camera. If they do that, they will eliminate most of my complaints about the game. I need to see some more story development because, I mean, you really don't know much about these characters.
Right.
Like I said, this is, you'll play...
Other than the fact that no matter how they sleep at night, they wake up with perfect hair.
Yeah, well, that's Japan for you.
Yeah.
But, it's basically this demo, if this game ever comes out, you're going to play the first part, and then you're going to get to this part, you're going to be like, oh, here, I got to play through the demo again.
Mm-hmm. Well, I would imagine that there would be more to do than just that one or two quests in that area.
I doubt it because this seems like this is just such a speed bump. It's to introduce you to Cindy and, get your car fixed and go on. Because if you keep going down the road that the truck stop is on, you get to this like blue barrier that's like, oh, you can't go any further, but thanks for playing. This story will continue in Final Fantasy 15, I think it says, and
Right.
It doesn't let you walk forward. But this is a road, and this is modern times, so there are cars. And if you position yourself just right, because there's no, like, I was worried that if a car hit me, it would kill me. But I found out last night that the cars just bounce off of you.
Okay.
And if you line yourself up at the edge of the border just right, and a car coming the opposite way hits you just right, it will push you beyond the barrier, and you can walk around past the barrier of the demo.
Huh.
Like, people have gotten to Atlas, which seems to be, where they're, because the game says go to, they reference it at the beginning, and then the game at the end says drive to this place.
Yeah.
So you're supposed to drive to, and you fall through the environment and walk, and keep walking, and eventually you get to Atlas holding up whatever. I mean, nothing happens, but it's just like, this demo, I mean, like, why is this even accessible?
I don't know.
Yeah. It's just weird.
All right. So that's a thing.
But that's all the things I've done. So, Steven, what have you been playing?
Oh, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, whole lot of this other thing. I guess we'll start with all the good repeats first. We'll start out with the only thing I played on PC was some Diablo 3. Yeah, I didn't get past Act 2 before Season 2 ended. So, Season 3 has begun. We'll see if I can... Hey, you know what? No, I'm gonna keep going on my Crusader first and finish that off. Because I want to experience the expansion stuff.
Yeah, that patch came out on PS4, but I had to uninstall Diablo to get NBA to fit.
Mm.
So I have not played it.
Yeah. Well, the latest PC season, like I said, has begun, and I lost my chance of doing my Crusader run through the expansion DLC before that happened, because I didn't even get to Act 4. So, like I said, I'll try and just go through and finish off my Crusaders run anyway, just because I was really enjoying that anyway. Alright, so then we move on to 360, where I got a couple repeats. Let's see. Played some Dragon Age Inquisition, where I gained the full approval of the Orlesian Court and became the belle of the ball.
Wait, are you a guy or a girl?
I was just saying that for fun.
Oh, okay.
I gained the full approval, which is why I think the achievement is belle of the ball or something.
Right, yeah. But isn't that awesome? Does that not remind you of Stolen Memory a bit?
You're gonna have to refresh my memory. What's Stolen Memory?
Kazumi, Mass Effect 2 DLC.
Never played that, remember? I never played a good chunk of that DLC for Mass Effect 2. That was one of them.
Okay, well, Shepard's in a dress, and you're infiltrating this party to find this.
Oh, wait, your Shepard was in a dress, because yours was female. Right,
yes.
I forgot that for a second there. I'm imagining the default male protagonist in a dress, and I'm like, that seems a little funny. Yeah. Yeah, but no, we were just in, like, regal, like, uniform dress for my Inquisition guys.
Right, yeah. But that whole stage is is awesome. I didn't get the achievement, I don't think, for finding like everything because like you find evidence against people, and I wasn't able to get all the evidence because I was so worried because when you're searching, if you spend too much time away from the party area, your approval rating lowers.
That leads me to that point. I really hated that part. That little ticking counter that just gave me so much anxiety because I love to search every corner of every location I'm going to
Yeah.
because items. And that little counter was making me so angry.
Yeah.
Granted, there were times where it was extremely generous
Yeah.
with how slow it was ticking down, but that was not generous enough.
Yeah, there were. I didn't. I found most of the evidence, but I didn't find all of it, so I didn't. I wasn't able to fully rectify everything. Like, there's the female.
I kind of made a mistake during the final section of unveil all these plots.
Mhm.
Yeah, I didn't actually unveil the third piece of the puzzle. I forgot entirely. I had the option to, and I'm like, oh, huh, oops. So maybe I can go back. Maybe there's a save like just before I entered that the ballroom for the final encounter. I don't remember, but I
Well,
may have to just make do with what I currently have.
we did the Grey Warden's stronghold first, right?
Yes.
Okay. And you had a nice revelation and a major choice that happened at the end of that.
Oh yeah. Someone on my team is very sad. Very
Oh
sad.
no!
Yeah, I think you know what that meant.
Oh no! You didn't play much of two, so
He's not happy.
I wouldn't be happy either.
I
But
mean,
it's
yeah, it was a big decision. There was no good answer to that one. I made a choice, and I'm like, this is the best thing I can think of. Maybe this will work out good. I guess it didn't. Yeah, I don't know. Hey, I'm not happy.
yeah.
Nobody was happy after that situation. Least of all me, because well, yeah. Don't want to spoil that part. But yeah, so I did the Orlesian Court, did that. So now I'm not sure where the story is going to go yet for the next bump in the road. But now I got some strongholds to take over and a bunch of new equipment to run around and find, and hopefully get some new materials and forge some level 3 armor finally. Because now I have level 3 weapons.
Yeah. Yeah, I told you as soon as you beat um the that story mission, it would unlock.
Yeah.
You should be pretty close to getting the level 4 stuff.
Well, we'll see.
Maybe the next mission, maybe the next story mission.
Yeah, I'm thinking the next big story beat will be unlock level 4 materials and everything else. All
Yeah.
right, so that's
And then
pretty
that's
much
when you start going after the dragons.
yeah, yeah. Because I don't. There's no way I'm going after them without having some serious good gear.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, that's pretty much where I am in Inquisition. Had to stop immediately after I finished the ball because wow, that's a long section.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
But yeah, still have fun with it, even though there's some technical problems on 360.
Yeah.
Played a little bit of Might and Magic Clash of Heroes from back in 2011?
Yeah, that's a long time ago.
Yeah. It's still pretty fun. I was playing a couple rounds with Wandering Storms, my good old cousin. Seven's fun because that was a day where Xbox Live decided, nah, we're gonna break now. And I couldn't get a patch downloaded for the prequel. So,
Right.
yeah. We were just like, all right, I guess we'll play something offline. Hey, we can play this offline. Still fun.
Yep.
Really, really would be nice to have a sequel to that. Just, I'd love to see what they could do with the sequel. But I think Cappy is off doing their own things now, so I don't know that they would want to do that again. Which sucks, because it's a really good game. Alright, so there's that. Played a little bit of Bejeweled 3 on Xbox Live Arcade as well. I felt like matching 3.
Yep.
Had some fun. Then the first of the 2 new things, and maybe a half new thing as well. I played the demo for Monopoly Plus on Xbox Live Arcade. It came out a couple weeks ago.
It's been out much longer than that on the new consoles.
Yes. Maybe it's been a couple months.
It came out in November.
Yeah, okay, so it hasn't been quite that long for 360. It's definitely been like a month, maybe 2.
Okay. But yeah.
But it's Monopoly.
Yep.
It's straight up Monopoly.
Yep.
With a 3D city in the middle of the board.
Yep.
It was fun. There was nothing wrong with it. It's straight up nothing wrong with that. And
it's because Ubisoft has this license now, so it's required all new.
Well, the weird thing was that wasn't the only Monopoly thing that came out a couple of months ago.
Right, it's divided into like 3 things.
Yeah, and you can like buy this package or something that encompasses all 3 of them or something?
Yes, at retail, it encompasses all 3. I think there's a digital version that encompasses all 3. Monopoly Plus is your core Monopoly. I mean, that's the core thing.
It's straight up good old Monopoly. You can customize the rules any way you want, but you can also use standard Monopoly rules, which is, the preferred way to play.
There's Monopoly Deal, which is the card version.
Yeah, which I have that downloaded. I'm definitely going to try it. I just didn't want to do 2 Monopoly things in a row and
I've heard that's terrible. But...
Oh, then we'll have some fun next episode as I rip that one apart.
And then there's My Monopoly, which lets you use custom boards.
I don't remember if that's on 360. I don't think it is.
I don't know. That's how it is on PS4 and Xbox One.
But yeah, Monopoly Plus and Monopoly Deals are on Xbox Live Arcade. So I'll check out Monopoly Deals for next episode. But yeah, Monopoly Plus, everything is basically 3D. And that's fine. It looks good. It plays really well. There was no loading times that were weird or odd. I played with 2 other AI. And I mean, for the 3 turns that you get out of the demo, it's not bad.
Mm-hmm.
But, what else do you really need out of AI from Monopoly?
Okay.
The only thing I could think of is maybe the deal mechanics aren't great with AI, but I wouldn't know. So, it's fun, and it's $10 on 360. And it's $15 on Xbox One.
Mm-hmm. Same PS4.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of sales, though, for it. So.
Yeah. Oh, wait, on next gen?
Yeah.
Or current gen?
At least on PS4. I don't know about Xbox One. It's been on sale PS4 like twice.
I hadn't seen any sales, so maybe I'll keep my eye out for a sale on the Xbox One version. But yeah, it was pretty good. Had some fun with it. Definitely something I would recommend. All right, and I guess half of this is new. I was playing some Destiny on Xbox One. I played through the entirety of the Dark Below expansion.
Yeah.
Thanks to my friend on the other side of this line.
Yes, the Game Fairy found a gift that I didn't need, and lo and behold, it worked, and Steven got to...
I have the expansion for Dark Below, and I have the expansion, the House of Wolves, waiting for me when that comes out.
Yep.
So I'll be able to play both, and that'll be able to play day 1.
Yep.
Which is, crazy.
Yep.
But yeah, wow, that was underwhelming.
Was that totally worth $20?
No. I'm happy I got that for free.
You're welcome.
Because wow, that was barely worth half price. It took me like 3 hours to go through the main story stuff, and then another hour and a half to go through the side quests that open up after that.
Right.
And then maybe another half hour for the strike. That's the final thing that's unlocked.
Yeah.
Which is, that's not really worth it. Because I got one thing that was good out of all of that, and that's a fusion rifle, the Murmur. And it's a really fun fusion rifle because it switches between solar and arc, which is lightning and fire. That's pretty unique. It's the only thing in the entire game that has a dual reality like that. But that's kind of the only thing that was good that I got out of all of that, because I already had gauntlets, which I got at the end of all the quests, which were far better than the ones they gave me. They gave me some really bad gauntlets. So, yeah, I don't know. But my Warlock's level 31, so I'm basically ready to start taking on raids if anybody wants to have me in their group. I pretty much know what I'm doing for the Vault of Glass and the what is it's something Crota is the raid. I don't remember what the name of it was.
From the Dark Below, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I can't remember what the name of it is.
Yeah.
It's the one where you go and kill Crota finally.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really would love to experience those raids finally, because those are kind of the only things I haven't done. Yeah, I tried out a little bit of the multiplayer maps. One of them from the Dark Below is really bad because it's super tiny and people will appear behind you with extremely limited warning. It kind of reminded me like Rust from Modern Warfare 2. It was bad.
Yeah.
But yeah. Can't really think of anything else Destiny related. Yeah, just completed all those quests, which, like I said, underwhelming. Yeah, I don't know. That's kind of all I got to say at this point, really. At least my Titan is leveled up pretty well. I have a piece of equipment that's gonna bump my Titan up to level 30, finally.
Yeah.
That's kind of it for Destiny. Then I started playing some threes for Xbox One. It's a fun puzzle game. It's a really fun puzzle game.
Yeah, I didn't get around to playing it. I got it for free from Target. Every week has a different song or app that's free if you go to a Target that has a Starbucks in it. Okay. So one time the free app was threes. I didn't get to download it.
A couple of weeks ago it was on, or about a month ago-ish, something like that. It was on sale for like $3 and some change.
Yeah.
So
because it was Pi Day.
Sure. I think that's probably what it was.
Yeah, it was like $3.14 or something. Yeah.
Yes, I think that was exactly what it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that I guess that makes total sense now why it was on sale for that price.
Yeah.
So I was like, that's good, and I had been meaning to pick it up anyway.
Yeah.
Because I'd heard it was a really good game.
Mm-hmm.
Turns out I was right. The entire game revolves around matching threes and creating multiples of threes. So sometimes the board will have a 1 and a 2. You match those, you get a 3. You match 2 3s, you get a 6. You match 2 6s, you get a 12. 2 12s, you get 24, and so on and so on.
Yeah.
Until you get ridiculously large numbers in the thousands. Really, the only downside to it is none of the achievements are powers of 5. They're all multiples of 3.
Oh, how lovely.
And I didn't notice it after the first achievement that I got, because I was getting them so rapid fire I wasn't looking at the point values that were displayed on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
And I wound up getting a a bunch of achievements that were 3, 3, 6, 33, 66.
Oh.
My score is screwed up, and I'm so angry. I'm just angry at myself for not paying attention and looking at it beforehand. Because now I have to go find a 2, 7, or so on and so on achievement to fix everything. Because I don't know that I'll be able to get 12-ish points to fix everything out of all the achievements, because it would require me getting 2 of the 66-point achievements, I guess. Mm-hmm. And I've kind of hit a wall. I've got the high score for people who have played out of all my friends list, but I don't know that I could get much higher with the numbers. So I think I'm screwed. 2014, and they still release a game that makes me angry that all the achievements are not powers of 5. I thought we had finally gotten past this.
Yeah, I thought we did too. I mean, I can understand why, with the game being 3s and all this.
No, I totally understand why, but god damn you.
It still sucks.
It makes me so angry.
Yeah.
Because if I had looked, I would have played it on an alternate account or offline without being signed in. I would not have played it on my main account. Because as fun as it is, I do not know that I will be able to get any of the other achievements to fix this. So now I have to go find another game that has odd achievement point values and fix my score. So, not happy.
Like I said, 360achievements.org or xboxachievements.org now, I think it's called.
Yeah. I'll definitely be looking that up later. But for now, other than having some fun and having the extreme sadness that is my gamer score now, that's kind of all I've been playing.
Yeah.
Alright, let's hit up to the news, because there's a pretty good amount of news waiting for us.
And now, the latest game news from around the world.
Alright, and first up on the news, on April 1st, the good old April Fool's Day, Nintendo had a very real Nintendo Direct.
Yeah, just kind of a thing, Nintendo being kind of blind to the West. I mean, Nintendo of America poked fun at it a little bit, but, with the end of the fiscal year is the same in Japan as it is in the West.
Yeah.
Whereas the West, it's into the fiscal year for a lot of companies, okay. But in the West, April Fool's is a thing, so no Western company puts out news, whereas in Japan, everything is April 1st is super important business day to Japan, and, the rest of the world just waits a bit. Because
I am happy that none of this was fake.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's the good part.
Yeah.
All of this was real.
Yeah.
So, we got a new Fire Emblem coming out in 2016.
In the West. It'll be out this summer in Japan.
Yeah. It's going to have 2 campaigns and a downloadable 3rd campaign. Which, the weird part is the way they're treating these campaigns.
Yeah.
The two regular campaigns are 2 separate cartridges in Japan.
Yes. So it's basically a pseudo Pokemon situation.
Which, that's not the way I want my Fire Emblem. I want this game, but that's not the way I want this game. I really hope they don't think that's the good way to put this game out.
Well, I mean, maybe they will do something in the States where you get the one game, but then you pick whichever campaign on your first playthrough, and the cartridge locks to that.
No, I don't like that idea either.
Well, that's how the game's designed. They're doing a Game of Thrones thing, so
that's not the way I want that. I want to be able to start one campaign, finish it, go ahead and start the other campaign, finish that.
Well, you can
start the 3rd campaign, finish that, because I like me some turn-based combat.
Well, you can do that. You just have to buy the other two.
And that's stupid to make me have to pay 3 separate times for one game.
Well, it'll be cheaper the next. You won't be paying $40. It's not $40. It's not 40 or whatever it is. It's about half the price yen for the other campaigns. Or in Japan, they did a collector's edition that's everything. So just hope that maybe that there's a GameStop collector's edition, whatever, that gives you access to all 3.
Well, that better be how it happens, because there's no way I'm paying for 3 separate pieces of a game.
That collector's edition will probably run, $80 or more. So
oh, screw that! That ain't happening.
You will pay for all 3.
No, I won't.
Well,
I will not. I won't
all
buy
right.
that then.
Well, that's fine.
I will refuse to buy that whole damn thing.
You just pick light or dark, and you'll have your 140-hour campaign.
That's. See, this is the wrong way to do this, because this is just making me angry.
I don't get the anger. You're like the only person that's angry about this.
The fact that they
and
think
you're
this
a
is the way to.
Person.
I know, but that's different because it's the same game. It's damn near the same game. There's a tiny, tiny difference in each of the games, and that's the Pokemon that you can capture, and maybe like one story beat that's like a half different story.
But you don't get access to it without buying the whole other game. Like you're forced to find people to trade Pokemon with.
Which is never a problem because you can just do the online trading.
Oh.
That makes it super simple. That's never the problem with that.
All right. Well, I don't have a problem with this. You're telling me I get 3 Fire Emblems in one, essentially, and I can choose which.
But not for a giant premium price. That's not going to happen.
It's not. It'll be $40 probably to buy one of the carts, and then it'll probably be about $20 per. If you want all 3 campaigns, I'm sure it'll probably be about $80.
Which is ridiculous. That's as overpriced as they could possibly make.
How is that overpriced?
For having to force someone to pay for 3 separate deals, 3 separate pieces of the same game.
You're paying $20 for 40 hours more of content. I don't see the problem.
It just shouldn't be 3 separate pieces. I can understand the DLC. Fine, you let the DLC be slightly separate, but the 2 main games, that should be one box, one $40 price, and that's it.
Well, they're trying something different.
Well, I don't like this specifically. The way they're trying to do that, I don't know that I like that.
Okay,
I am excited to play more Fire Emblem. I am hesitant about the pricing structure.
All right, well, we'll get some more details, hopefully at a later point, with how it's going to be in America. So, we'll see.
No word on exactly when in 2016, but yeah. So.
I would imagine February, considering that's when Awakening came out, that's when Bravely Default came out. I see this being before the end of fiscal year, so I anticipate February, March, somewhere in there. Codename Steam was a February game.
Right, okay. Well, we'll see. In more Fire Emblem news, we're having a weird crossover between Shin Megami Tensei and Fire Emblem.
Well, okay,
but see... It's still in development.
Yeah, but it's coming out in Japan this year. If you watch the Japanese trailer, it says 2015.
Okay.
Which is how I first saw it, because I was told that the trailer wasn't in the American Direct when it was. But, so this game was announced, on a slide from Nintendo Direct, a year or 2 ago.
It was just in 2013.
Yeah, there was just a slide in Nintendo's Direct at E3, and that's all they showed, was literally one slide. And you were like, okay, what is this game? And it's been totally radio silence on it until now. So 2 years later, we get an actual trailer, and we find out that this game is really a Shin Megami Tensei game with Fire Emblem characters.
Hmm.
And kind of Fire Emblem inspired combat, but it still seems like it's counting the number of hits like Fire Emblem would, but but I think I don't know. We didn't see much of the.
Yeah, well, I'll have to see more gameplay before I can pass judgment on whether
They
it's
showed
something I
like
would
the
want or not.
characters doing combat, and it had a hit counter. Like it was like 1 hit, 2 hits, 3 hits, but I mean the shell of the game. This seems like much like Persona Q was an Etrian Odyssey game with a Persona shell. It seems like this is a Shin Megami Tensei game with a Fire Emblem shell.
Huh.
It seems like instead of demons, maybe the heroes of this game summon Fire Emblem characters, because they seem to, when they transform, they kind of transform the characters we assume are the different protagonists, and they turn into like Marth and some of the other.
Well, hopefully it'll be good.
Yeah, I mean
it's being developed by Atlas and Intelligent Systems. So
well, it's Atlas, I guess, with Intelligent Systems kind of just it's Atlas making the game. So that was the other thing we didn't know. Well, who's making this game? Well, it's Atlas. So, but I'm sure Intelligent Systems is contributing somewhat, but the core game is being done by the Persona team. I guess the Persona team that's not on 5.
Yeah.
Probably the people who did Shin Megami Tensei 4. I'm assuming they're working on this.
Possibly, yeah. All right.
It seems really awesome. It looks really awesome.
Yeah, the trailer looked all right. Looked like something interesting was happening. And speaking of interesting things happening, Mewtwo is officially coming to Smash Brothers on the Wii and Wii U 3DS.
Well, it's dated. We knew he was coming.
It's April 28th for everyone, and April 15th for free if you got the 3DS and Wii U versions registered before last month.
Ah, okay, sweet. So I even get it early. Awesome.
It'll be available for
it's $4.
$3.99 on 3DS or $4.99 on Wii U.
No, it's $3.99 per platform.
Oh, okay, sorry.
It's $4 if you only want it on one platform, or if you want it on 2, it's $5.
Which, I mean, that's not bad.
No, that's
actually decent.
That's about, if you divide out the characters in like Mortal Kombat. I mean, Mortal Kombat doesn't allow you to buy per character, but if you divide the price out, that's about how much Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat charge per character. So
right, but the fact that you're able to get it on both versions for just $5, that's actually really good.
Yep. And then,
but not to be outdone, Earthbound's Lucas is coming back to Super Smash Brothers as well.
Well,
he's coming in sometime this June.
To be fair, though, Lucas is from Mother 3. He's not from Earthbound, which is Mother 2.
And in the US, it's called Earthbound, though.
Well, yeah, but it's the game we never got. We only got one game. We got Mother 2, which is Earthbound. Okay, but this game's never seen an official... Lucas, other than him being in previous Smashes, his game has never been officially released in the West.
The point remains, though, he's back.
Yeah.
Joining the roster again.
Yep.
And sometime in June they'll announce the exact day, and I'm guessing it'll be the same price.
And I have a feeling this is going to be around E3 because
probably
wouldn't that be and he's available now?
Or like the next week he'll be live or something like that. Yeah.
Evo has already said he will not be legal for Evo.
Okay.
Well, because he's coming out too late.
I mean, yeah. Just
okay.
Weird. Anyway. And if you're not too keen on having just Lucas and Mewtwo join the fight, maybe you want to suggest someone else who could potentially join the Smash Brothers growing roster. Nintendo's actually taking suggestions for new characters to add to the growing insanity that is this roster.
Which is crazy because, for one thing, the site worked. Like, Club Nintendo, if more than 10 people logged onto it at once, it just died.
Yeah.
As my huge stack of unused Club Nintendo codes, not from stuff I purchased, but from codes I pilfered from GameStop, as many people did. My stack of codes that may or may not have been used, I didn't get to redeem because, well, like every time I would try to log in, it wouldn't really work right. And then it's like, oh crap, we're at the end of the month. I've got to do it now. And the site wouldn't even log in.
I was able to log in, but only during like the middle of the night at times.
Well, I even tried then, and it wasn't working. So.
Well, did you actually try at like 3 a.m., 4 a.m. times?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Then I guess I just got lucky or something.
Yeah.
Chose the right days to do it.
Yeah. But anyway, so this ballot is available on the website. I forget the exact address, but
it's the Smash Brothers official website.
Okay.
There's a link from there.
All right.
It's a write-in ballot, so you actually have to write in a specific character that you're looking for. Now there are, of course, some restrictions on what you can suggest. Some restrictions such as it cannot be in the game as an assist trophy already.
Yeah, so sorry, Dan Reichert, no Waluigi.
Yeah. There's a pretty big push for a couple different characters.
There's Shovel Knight, there's Bayonetta, there's Wonder Red from Wonderful 101, there's Ridley.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a few other Fire Emblem characters that aren't in there yet.
I think so, yeah. I think there was a little bit of a push for Roy finally to come back because why is he still not back in the game? I don't know.
They wanted to highlight the newer ones.
There's also a small push for Crystal from Star Fox Adventures coming.
Oh.
Because that actually could be interesting.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
But, so go ahead and write in your takes on who should be on that roster today. And speaking of DLC, Mario Kart 8 is getting a 200cc speed boost as a free update.
Which will be the fastest a Mario Kart game has ever played.
Indeed. I have no idea how crazy that's going to be.
There's some comparison videos Nintendo's put out.
But that'll be out on April 23rd.
Same day as the Animal Crossing DLC pack, which is the second half of the DLC pass they announced last fall. The first one having the different Zelda-themed things. This one's Animal Crossing themed and comes out for $8 separately on the same day. Requires 1 gig of storage, so it's early. They originally said this was going to come out in May, but they got it out a couple weeks early.
Yeah.
The 3 racers it adds are Isabelle, Villager, and Dry Bowser, along with 4 vehicles and 8 tracks.
That's a pretty good selection of additions.
Yep. And
speaking of Animal Crossing.
Yep.
They were good.
Well, I was going to say the Animal Crossing course in the DLC changes seasons every time you play it.
Huh. That's cool.
Yeah.
But speaking of Animal Crossing, they're also going to be releasing a game called Happy Home Designer for the 3DS. And it's going to use a new kind of amiibo. Card-based amiibos. It's a Animal Crossing spin-off. It's going to come out sometime later this year. It's going to be a game where you design and furnish homes using the card-based amiibos that will be cheaper and far more portable than the current amiibos.
Yeah.
This is a weird thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's gonna be. I guess the cards are gonna have built-in near-field communications as well.
Yeah, this is just ugh.
It's weird.
Yeah.
Anyway, so they also announced that the new Amiibo lineup is going to be really, really interesting. Going to be a Dr. Mario, a Zero Suit Samus, the Splatoon Inklings, and a whole ton more.
Yeah, so I mean, basically, so the next full Smash Brothers wave was May 29th. It's Charizard, Pac-Man, Wario, Jigglypuff, Greninja, Robin, Lucina, and Ness.
Yep.
With Ness, Greninja, and Jigglypuff being retailer exclusive. And all those have sold out within hours of them posting at various places. Most famously, GameStop's pre-orders system never officially started online, and in-store orders were bogged down so much that the web store for GameStop, which is how, it's just basically just everything GameStop crashed the day that these went on sale, and people were waiting hours in line to try to pre-order these Amiibo, and Robin and Lucina sold out first, and then it was Wario, and then Charizard, and then Ness, and then Pac-Man. But Robin and Lucina sold out within an hour.
Yeah.
And then it was Wario, and then Charizard, and then Ness, and then Pac-Man, which Ness was the GameStop exclusive, but that one lasted almost the longest. But within 4 hours, GameStop sold out of its entire allotment for the May 29th release.
Yeah, that's this is getting maybe a little out of hand.
Yeah. And then we know July is Palutena and Dark Pit. And then September is Zero Suit Samus, Ganondorf, Olimar, Dr. Mario, and Bowser Jr. The Splatoon ones you mentioned are also on the 29th, but they only work with Splatoon.
Yeah.
They don't work in Smash. The Ink Girl and Boy are available separately, but if you want the actual squid, it's only available in the 3-pack.
Yeah. It actually looked like a decent 3-pack. I don't know about the price, because it wasn't looking.
And then they also announced that, they announced the Animal Crossing card ones that Steven already mentioned. Mm-hmm. There's also going to be a Yarn Yoshi one for Yoshi's Woolly World, which they confirmed was coming out this fall, supposedly. And the Yoshi Yarn Amiibo will be 3 different colors: green, light blue, or pink. The game will have 2 modes. It'll have the classic normal mode, and then their version of Luigi is going to be called Mellow Mode, where Yoshi gets wings and can fly through the whole level.
Okay. That seems like maybe they're trying to baby people a little too much.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's something that they've been putting in all the 2D Mario games, because I mean, if you die a few times in a row, when you respawn, there'll be I don't know what it is on New Super Mario Brothers on Wii, but on the Wii U one, if you die a few times in a row on the same level, there'll be a block at the start. They'll kind of buzz. If you hit it, Luigi will come out and beat the level for you.
Okay. All right then. But speaking of Amiibo, sometime this spring, the Wii U is going to be getting Amiibo Tap.
Yeah, so basically this turns every single one of your Amiibos into a demo.
Yeah, it gives you access to, 3-minute snippets of classic Nintendo games.
And then, hey, buy these on the eShop.
The games will be assigned to Amiibos randomly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, maybe it'd be
just
more
weird.
Yeah, well, maybe you and Jeff Gertzman will be more excited with Mario Maker coming out in September.
I mean, that's cool, yeah. The fact that you can actually make full, realized, 100% authentic levels is kind of awesome.
And it's so far confirmed for 4 styles. Super Mario Brothers on the NES, Super Mario Brothers 3 from the NES, Super Mario World from Super Nintendo, and new Super Mario Brothers U from the Wii U. And you can bring the characters over, so like you can have chain chops in a Super Mario Brothers 1 level.
Ooh, interesting.
Yes.
All right.
And the art style changes depending on...
Right. It's an interesting thing. It really is. Can't wait to see what comes of it.
Yeah, and then there is also the rabbit in the Mii Plaza on 3DS is going to be busy again because there's 2 more Mii games coming out.
Yeah. They're going to be called...
Ultimate Angler
yeah.
and Battleground Z. Angler...
Yeah, the Battleground Z, I think you can guess. It's zombies.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for more zombies.
And then Angler, of course, is fishing.
Yay.
So
zombies.
They're $5 each or $8 for both.
I mean, maybe.
But the weird thing is...
I don't think they're for me.
Yeah, well, I don't know if this is for you either. There's also going to be Street Pass Mii Plaza Premium, where 3DS owners can store 100 of their favorite or special Miis, and it'll cost $5.
No thanks, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good with the minimum amount that I currently have. Oh, but something that is interesting and is coming out in this May digitally only, Attack on Titan, Humanity in Chains for the 3DS.
Yeah, this is Spike Chunsoft's published by Atlas Attack on Titan game that they're bringing over.
It came out in Japan late 2013, and it throws you into the characters from the anime. So, could be interesting.
And the first 2 episodes of the anime are on the eShop for free.
I mean, sure. Yeah. I don't know that that's the way I would want to watch it.
It's a neat tie-in.
Yeah, it's just odd that...
Yeah, it's odd.
That's not the place I would want to watch an anime.
Yeah, I know. All right. Codename Steam. If you've seen the reviews complaining about the speed of the computer turns, an update is out now on the eShop that you can download and install on non-new 3DS. On the new 3DS XL, it speeds up the enemy turn by 3 times. On every other member of the 3DS family, it speeds it up 2 times.
And that was a sorely needed thing.
Yeah.
I mean, just from watching a video of it, that's a pretty long amount of turn time. So this should hopefully at least alleviate some of that.
Nintendo, some more stuff here. Nintendo's finally gotten the bright idea that, hey, horror games kind of do fairly well now in the West again.
Yeah.
And the latest Fatal Frame game is coming out on Wii U in the West this year.
Finally. It has been a very long time since the Wii U has had any, games.
Well, the last Fatal Frame game was published was a Wii game, was a regular Wii game. It never came out in the West.
In America. I mean, it's been a long time.
Well, right. I don't think it came out in Europe either. I think it was Japan only.
Right. So having it just be in Japan seems kind of odd.
Yeah.
Originally.
But this one's coming out in the West. The gamepad is your camera.
Which, makes sense. Because it's got a camera on it.
It was released in Japan last year. So.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's coming here. If Nintendo's smart, they will have this out in October. But we will see.
I mean, yeah. Depends on when. Oh, but another game coming to the Wii U and 3DS on September 22nd is Sky Soldier from the creator of Knights. That old Sega game.
Yeah.
That was terrible.
but everybody really likes it because of the colors.
Yeah, it's also interesting to watch in 3D
And
because sort of pseudo 3D.
it was one of the few decent launch games for the Saturn. I remember playing it in Blockbuster and be like, huh, okay.
Mm-hmm. Well, like I said, coming out on 3DS and Wii U for September 22nd.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to be an adventure platformer, so guess we'll have to wait and see a little bit more about it.
Yeah, and something that's kind of surprising considering Level 5 having been published by a Japanese mobile company and their latest Professor Layton and Fantasy Life games going mobile only, Yokai Watch will actually come out in the West on 3DS.
Yes, it's the latest in the successful toy game anime series from Japan. So we're not too sure exactly when it's going to be coming, but it's coming at some point. I guess we'll have more details once Nintendo, locks down a time frame-ish.
Yep. And if you've been waiting to play the new uncensored version of Binding of Isaac on console, it's coming out to pretty much everything here soon. Xbox One, Wii U, and new 3DS.
Yes, indeed.
So I guess if it's new 3DS, this is going to be the second game that requires the new 3DS, following Xenoblade Chronicles X.
Indeed, it actually does, yeah. Which, why not, I guess.
Okay.
All right.
And then one that I'm kind of interested in, but Steven didn't like the first one, even though this is based off one of his favorite older series. Project Cross Zone 2 was announced this weekend via a trailer that Namco Bandai announced, or Bandai Namco, I guess it is now. They put out this English trailer. It is coming out this fall in the West. This is a similar game, not completely the same as Super Robot Tyson, but it has those characters in a very similar style, but not the exact style, that throws in a bunch of crossover characters from other Japanese companies like Resident Evil and Mega Man and Virtua Fighter and Dot Hack. Tails characters this time. They switched up the Tails characters. They still went Vesperia again, which is interesting, but it's they subbed out the princess for the other knight guy. Gosh darn, it's been so long since I've played. It's Lloyd is the other Yuri. It's Yuri and Lloyd instead of Yuri and Estelle. So it's Vesperia characters again from Tails. They promised more characters being announced, but they announced like 20 characters with it so far.
Yeah, I did not enjoy the combat system for that first game. I'll give it a shot. If there's a demo, I'll try the demo again. But I don't have high hopes. I don't know that it'll draw me in. Unlike Destiny, which the House of Wolves finally has its release date nailed down, and that's coming out May 19th. Huh, that sounds familiar.
Could it be that would be the same day as Witcher 3?
Oh, that's why I remember that date. Yeah.
And I'm just going to skip ahead here. Witcher CD Projekt announced that besides all of the smaller free DLC they're going to put out for the game, there are going to be 2 large expansions that will come out. The first one being in October and be about 10 hours long, and the second one coming out early in 2016 that will be about 20 hours long. The 2 items will be available for $30 if you buy them separately, or you can buy them together in the game's expansion pass for $25.
I mean, that's not bad. I mean, you're getting a really long amount of DLC.
Yeah,
but let's wait and see what each of them actually is.
Well, they describe them a little bit. The first one's called Hearts of Stone. and the second one is Blood and Wine. And I don't have other articles out there, or if you find CD Projekt's actual announcement, it describes these two expansions in more detail.
Yeah.
But considering that...
I'll wait until I actually get my hands on the full game before I decide whether I want to try and get the DLC, obviously.
That's fine. I will buy the expansion pass at some point, because, I mean, look at me, BioWare's charging $15 for a 4-hour thing, and I'm going to get 30 hours of content for $25. So that's a pretty good deal. So, but that's brought up some controversy. But
yeah, people are not happy because the way CD Projekt has done it in the past, they were very anti-pay for DLC.
Well, and they consider these, if you read their thing, they consider DLC small things, the cosmetic things, the stuff they're giving away for free.
Yeah.
Whereas the super large, what they call expansions, they're calling them expansion packs, a la the old days of games.
Yeah.
Where they reformed. So.
Which I will respect and hold judgment until I've actually gotten eyes on exactly what's in each of them. But one quick thing about House of Wolves from Destiny. They did say that they were taking a lot of the feedback from how poorly Dark Below was received into account. So we'll see if that pays off. Just wanted to make sure that was out there, because hopefully it's not going to be another very disappointing 3 or 4 quests, and that's it. But speaking of announcements for new games, or DLC, and as the previous case was, new game announcements, Black Ops 3 is official. I reserve judgment till I actually see, gameplay.
Talk about the other one.
The one I'm way more excited about.
Yeah.
A brand new Deus Ex has been announced.
Yes.
It's called Mankind Divided.
It is a sequel to Human Revolution. You're Adam Jensen again, and boy, is he retained. That's a nice CG trailer.
Oh, that looks like good. I'll have to include that one in the show notes.
Yeah.
So we're looking at a Xbox One, PS4, and PC exclusive.
Yeah. Yeah, goodbye 3. This is, like I said...
This is it. Yeah.
You're going to get Metal Gear. You're going to eventually get Mortal Kombat. You might get Tomb Raider. And then after that, you might get Call of Duty. And that's a might at this point. But then other than that, other than sports games, we're done.
Yeah.
On 360.
I can't wait. I loved that first game a lot.
Yeah. I need to play it now that I have the director's cut, since I have to start over. I need to play that.
Yeah.
Because I got to start over since I have the director's cut now.
All right. Well, unfortunate news. Xbox One's Quantum Break has been delayed. It's no longer coming out in 2015.
It's Remedy. They'll get it done when they get it done.
Which I guess is a better way to do it than just release it broken, Battlefield 4.
Yeah.
Because WoW. Or Halo Master Chief Collection. Because WoW.
Yeah.
It only recently started working.
Yeah.
Jeez.
All right.
So, I guess they're just going to take their time.
Yeah, kind of, I guess Lego kind of took their time in seeing... Hey, this Toys to Life thing, which that's the official name of that category, as Activision's called it, and it's kind of stuck.
Yeah, I don't know, whatever.
But, so if you were like, hey, why don't they make a Skylanders game with Legos? Well, you have your wish now. Lego Dimensions is coming out for everything this September.
Indeed.
For $100, you get the starter pack, which gives you 3 characters... the Portal, Batmobile, and it's basically think like a Lego movie style thing because the franchises in tow right now are DC Comics, Lord of the Rings, Lego Movie, Wizard of Oz, Lego Ninjago, Back to the Future, with more to be announced later.
Basically anything that's under Warner Brothers
Warner Brothers
purview.
umbrella, yeah.
Yeah, if they've ever done any work with it, they might have a Lego Dimensions set for it.
And this is a Traveler's Tale, a TT Games Traveler's Tales game.
Yeah. So now we know what they're doing too.
Yeah.
So,
we don't know what Sony's going to be doing with the carcass and remains of OnLive.
well, I mean, we kind of know. It's getting shut in a closet.
Yeah.
Because OnLive will be shutting down as Sony acquires all their assets at the end of this month. So April 30th is the cutoff date.
Yep. And then the Xbox One update that we talked about last episode, it's out now, but the voice messaging the voice messages had to be held back because they weren't ready yet.
Yeah.
And dedicated servers for party chat.
Yeah.
So the two most important things to that update aren't ready yet.
Well, I mean, stability updates would be the most highest priority, first of all.
All right. So the other thing is on the 360 side of things, they have added the preview program there as well. And currently for preview members and soon to be for everyone, they are finally allowing external hard drive support for the 360. The max it will be able to support is 2 terabytes.
I mean, that's still pretty beefy. If you actually needed a 1 terabyte or 2 terabytes at that point, that's a pretty large amount of games you downloaded.
Well, I mean, if you've been redeeming all of the 360, because you get 2 360 games for gold games every month versus 1.
You'd be hard-pressed to fill up a 500 gig drive.
Oh, I think you can fill up a 500 pretty easily.
1 terabyte, you'd be completely 100% set. 2 terabytes, you will never have to change that thing in your lifetime.
Right.
At least for 360. Now for Xbox One, wake me up when they get to 4 terabytes.
All right. So the last story here, Assassin's Creed Chronicles. This was partly kind of confusing because it was originally tied in with the Season Pass fiasco with Unity and everything. But essentially, it's 3 2.5D style games set in China, India, and Russia. The first one from China, if you got the GameStop exclusive version of Revelations, there was a video you should have been able to unlock, and it was this assassin's origin story, because she goes to Ezio as an old man for help, and it's like him training her and him going out on presumably his last mission. So now it's picked back up. She's been trained by Ezio, and now she's going for revenge in China. And then you have the India storyline, which I don't know that much about. And then the Russian storyline are the assassins there is an Assassin's Creed comic book or graphic novel.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, okay, so one of the India guy is in the graphic novels as well.
Yeah, a lot of these characters have been in some side stories.
But now they're getting their own featured things. So, China is $10 or free if you had the Unity Season Pass before Ubisoft pulled it.
Mm-hmm.
Comes out on the 21st for Xbox One, PS4, and PC. And India and Russia will come out at a later date.
Yeah. I'm guessing one more this year, and then the third one will probably be next year. Just a guess, though. But, so that's some interesting Assassin's Creed news. Some actual good stuff that could come out of it. Guess we'll have to wait and see. But I think that'll do it for the news. Do we have something else that we want to go through? Really?
Yeah, sorry, pollen.
I get it. It's spring.
Yeah, so we have the NPD numbers for February.
Now it's that time of the month that causes gamers worldwide to be crabby and irrational. No, it's not PMS. It's NPD.
All right, let's hit those numbers.
All right, so the 3DS family. Remember, this was the month that the new 3DS XL came out. So
Yep.
it was the number one selling piece of hardware in North America, selling just under 400,000 units combined between all the platforms. But of course, the majority of those were new 3DS XLs.
Right.
PS4 was still the number one console, even though it's $50 higher than Xbox One.
Yeah, I think it was probably due to the fact that there kind of really wasn't anything out for it.
Well, and then so PS4 is theorized to be around 375,000 units. So about 275,000 units is the Xbox One, and the Wii U is estimated to have sold 94,000 units in February. In terms of the games, Nintendo cleaned up pretty big with the 3DS, the new 3DS lineup, because they had 2 of the top 10 games. So we'll start at number 10, Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate. 290,000 copies sold combined between digital and physical.
Oh, okay.
The 9th would be The Order 1886. The 8th being Minecraft.
Of course, because it's got to be on the list somewhere.
Number 7 being Dragon Ball Xenoverse, which was actually hurt because the game is still sort of hard to find.
Yeah, that's
It's been selling
odd.
really well.
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting concept. You create your own character and play through sort of time warpy Dragon Ball Z scenarios.
Yep.
Which, it's interesting to watch, that's for sure, because I'm watching it.
Number 6 is NBA 2K15. Not a surprise because football's over and basketball picks up in February. Number 5, Grand Theft Auto 5. Number 4, Advanced Warfare. Number 3, Dying Light, staying up. It was number 1 in January, number 3 in February. So,
yeah. Okay.
Techland's got to be happy with that. Evolve at number 2. And number 1 with 515,000 copies sold between digital and physical, Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask 3D.
There you go. That's the way it should be.
Which, if you want this game, I would highly recommend buying it sometime before Christmas, because as we have learned from Ocarina of Time, when this game goes out of print, it's going to go out of print. And I think right now, complete used copies of Ocarina of Time on like eBay and Amazon are about the $70 to $80 range.
Jeez.
For case and manual and cart. So
maybe even sooner than Christmas.
Yeah.
I want to go and get it before July.
Yeah, well, it took, because I was able to get Ocarina of Time fairly easily in 2013 when I got my 3DS, but by 2014, forget about it.
Yeah, completely gone, yeah.
Yeah, so that was 3 years. So it was about 2 to 3 years. So don't be surprised in a year or two if Majora's Mask is this hard to find, as Ocarina is now.
Alrighty.
I think that's everything to note. Yeah.
All right.
We're at 3.5 million amiibo sold, with 60. I think it's like 65% of those being in the U.S.
The craze continues.
Yeah. Pokemon Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire is almost at 3 million sales. Smash is at 3.6 million, with 2.1 of that coming on the 3DS. That's about it.
Alrighty. I guess that's all the stuff that we have for the episode then. Don't forget to subscribe to the show on iTunes or through the Xbox Music Marketplace. Microsoft Music Marketplace? I can never remember.
Xbox Music.
Xbox Music? Okay. So I got it right the first time. Go figure.
Which I think they're getting ready to change that to Windows Music.
Awesome. Now I'm going to have to remember to... They're going to make me forget it again.
Yeah.
Great. But yeah, go ahead and subscribe to the show through those, and go ahead and leave us a review on either one. just to help get the show out to more listeners. And go ahead and follow us on Twitter. It's Checkmate Arcade on Twitter, no spaces. You can follow me at Dark Bossman.
I'm at MSU Hitman.
And go ahead.
We're on Stitcher Radio.
Yeah. Hit us up on Stitcher Radio for your smartphones so that we can listen to us on the go. We're also on Facebook. Go ahead and give us a like. Follow the Facebook group. You'll find out exactly the minute that all the episodes are posted.
Yeah.
I post that real quick. So
Checkmate Arcade, 2 words on Facebook.
Yeah. Yeah, there is a space on that one. I always forget. But yeah, that's gonna do it for the episode where I have been the belle of the ball. My name is Stephen Boss, the Dark Boss Man.
And Square Enix, 9 years and you haven't learned that 3D action RPG needs a hard lock-on for the camera. Really? Really? I'm MSU Hitman Jason Billingsley.
And maybe Square Enix will take our advice. Who knows? We'll see. But maybe we'll see you on live PSN or maybe even on the net.
Peace out, everybody.